Released August 12, 2021 on PSVR by developer and publisher Bloober Team. Also available on Oculus Rift and Windows. Blair Witch VR Edition takes you back to the iconic Black Hills forest in the most immersive way possible. Yeah, the film's got nothing on this. Thanks to the publisher for the review key.
Sorry, Anthony. First come, first served. Yeah, I'll call landing once I'm in the forest.
Let's start off with the story. You're Ellis, an ex-cop with a tainted past. You've decided to join a search team for a missing boy in Black Hills Forest. Now, as you progress through the story, you'll get bits and pieces here and there through cutscenes, phone calls, and police chatter over your radio. And while I'm going to go ahead and give the story a thumbs up, in the same breath, I'll also admit it lacked some needed cohesion. It starts off well enough, but then descends into madness maybe an hour in. It still gets a thumbs up for a couple of reasons. One, I don't take a piss on a story simply because I didn't get it. Me not getting it doesn't make it bad. It simply means I'm probably not as smart as I originally thought. And two, even if my suspicions are correct and the story was in fact an incoherent mess, it was an incoherent mess that was told well. And even better than many cohesive stories I've sat through in the past.
Ellis, what are you doing out here?
Joining the search party.
Ellis, if you think you got some obligation to be here, you don't. I mean, I know it's his brother and all.
What I definitely did not feel with this story, however, was, well, how do I put this? Look, similar to the original movie, I didn't really get the Blair Witch thing. Maybe it was explained better in the film, and I just don't recall. But what I do recall is walking away from that film no wiser on the Blair Witch. And here in the VR edition, there was no explanation as to how the Blair Witch had anything to do with any of this. So, if you never watched the film, assuming I'm not the one dumbass who did but did not get it, then you're going to see the end credits roll just as I did, without getting who the witch is, what's her motivations, and what the hell did she have to do with any of this. Like I said, maybe it's just me.
You know, back during the Revolutionary War, there was this witch. She'd kidnap the local children, suck on their blood and whatnot. When they finally caught her, they hanged her on one of those trees.
Good story regardless. Why? Because it was entertaining, as convoluted as it seemed.
What is this?
This is marketed as a story-driven psychological horror experience, and if the story was the right hand steering this experience, then the audio must have been the left. The audio was well designed. Let me start off with the voice acting, top tier, and even if this standard of voice acting isn't technically top tier, it's top tier in my books. All actors brought their A game, and none dropped the ball. The Blair Witch is a huge franchise, or at least an iconic one, so no less was expected.
No, it can't be Emmett. We were just... I don't understand.
The score was also on point. This eerie music certainly helped to keep me immersed. It was creepy the entire way through, as it should be. The ambient sounds were also up there, as well as all the sound effects. The devs advised you to play with headphones, and I did. And other than a few times where the dog barked and I couldn't tell where it was, even when I knew the barks were coming from a particular direction, well, other than that, the clinks and clanks were all well done, to keep you believing, as every video game should. The visuals. Well, let's not kid ourselves. This is PSVR, and as much as I appreciate this dated piece of hardware, I gotta say it like it is. Now, I don't know if this was given the Pro Patch treatment, but I doubt it. Perhaps it looks significantly better on the PS5, but what do I know? I don't have one. So what I'm getting at is, the visuals ain't too pretty. And I've been playing a lot of the Quest 2 recently, which is no powerhouse either, but things look sharper over there. It's not all a wash though, for as blurry as these visuals seem at times, it did not detract from the experience, and it's not as bad as I'm making it sound. The simple truth is, PSVR has better looking games than this, but it still gets a pass.
Get over yourself, Ellis! Be a man for once!
Oh yeah, there it is!
There it is!
The cutscenes were all flat though, and while I can't remember playing a VR game with 360 cutscenes, it may be about time you devs step the game up on these remade for VR experiences. Flat cutscenes take away from the immersion, and Blair Witch VR is a generally immersive experience.
Boy will die. Has to die. Such is her will.
What about the gameplay? Let me start off with my least favorite part of this experience, the controls. I still have no idea what Sony was thinking when they made these Move controllers without thumbsticks, twice. I have a backlog of PSVR games that I find hard to touch because of this Move nonsense. I'm talking about heavy hitters like Blood and Truth, Jade Cypher, Saints and Sinners. The list goes on and on. I just find it real hard to wrap my head around this no thumbstick rubbish. However, I soldiered up, and let me add, I will be picking up those backlogged PSVR games because of Blair Witch VR. While I still think the Move controllers are asinine and perhaps the most awkward way to play a game in this day and age, I figured it out, got as accustomed to them as I think I ever will be, and made it through with a decent level of consistency.
Good job.
You know I'm belaboring this point, but why isn't it mandated by Sony that all devs create their games with a DS4 option? Guess if Sony did that, they'd be admitting to be dumbasses, and we can't have that now, can we?
Do you ever shut up?
I am proud of my newfound skills regardless. Kinda like learning to drive stick.
What was that thing?
There are no weapons in Blair Witch. It's almost a non-violent experience, but you are attacked, and defending yourself with a flashlight is pretty much all the action you will bring into this affair. And after a point, the flashlight doesn't work either. And if and when you die, as it doesn't happen that much, you'll wonder if you even died.
It attacks when I look at it.
You're accompanied by your trusty dog. And while I'm a cat person, I'm going to have to say, Blair Witch VR Edition makes me want to bat for the K9 team for a bit.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Good boy.
Your dog, Bullet, whose appearance you can customize by the way, is a very helpful companion and also helps add more life to the story. He is very useful, and because of him, you'll never be lost for too long in these woods. You have 3 commands for him: stay close, go sniffing around, and have a snack. Not sure about that snack thing though. Doesn't look like the dog ever really cared for a snack, and when I tried to feed him, I'm not sure what the hell really happened.
Aren't you a handsome boy?
The puzzles. I really don't like puzzle sections in games. I just can't be bothered. But the puzzles in Blair Witch VR are quite tame. Easy to figure out, and sometimes your dog figures them out for you.
One down, one to go.
There's nothing here that requires a degree in rocket science. Just as with the action, the devs tried to keep this a story-driven experience. I can tell that's where the interests were focused. Although in true Blair Witch style, you'll find yourself going in circles at times. Your dog helps a lot where this is concerned. And overall, Blair Witch VR is a linear experience. There's no free roaming and open world business here. And in my books, that is a good thing. Imagine roaming freely in these woods, getting lost. All you can see are trees and dirt for hours. No thank you.
All right, good boy, good boy. Now move aside.
And while this isn't as scary as I expected, Blair Witch VR does a real good job of simulating madness, hysteria, and whatever disorder this guy's struggling with. Not a terrifying game, but makes me think of Senua's Sacrifice in VR.
What? What? How? Jesus Christ! What the fuck just happened?
Another thing I found interesting, although there are a few nudges and one really helpful canine, Blair Witch VR doesn't really hold your hand. I found myself figuring out some important stuff the hard way, but I liked it because, truth be told, this isn't a very challenging experience. Another one of those games that were designed for you to complete it. On completion, I have reason to believe there may be multiple endings, and I got the bad one. But I'm not sure about this, just a hunch.
What's done is done. No point dwelling on the past.
And that's another thing. Although I believe the last section overstayed its welcome, Blair Witch VR Edition isn't only easy, but it's pretty short. I completed it in one day, and I don't mean 24 hours worth of playtime. I took a few short breaks, but I started it for the first time Monday morning and was finished by early Monday afternoon. One of those experiences.
Did you really think you would be that easy, Ellis?
But but the duration makes whatever shortcomings Blair Witch VR may have become tolerable. Like, I wouldn't want to be walking in circles in these woods for hours on end. I wouldn't want to be experiencing this guy losing his mind for more hours than I did. There are elements at play here with the potential of becoming stale, irritating even, but the rap time saw to it that never happened. So, with adequate visuals, great sound all around, a pretty decent though disjointed story, entertaining gameplay elements, and an overall immersive experience I could not imagine having on the flat versions, I'm going to have to say this glorified walking sim is a pretty good game, even with the move controllers. I also turned off all comfort settings, fiddled around till I figured out smooth turning, and didn't have a hint of nausea. Great job right across the board, Bloober team.
Well, it's not like we have much choice.
Before I go, quick shout out to this new Discord group I was invited to recently called VR City. Great bunch of guys, great for VR players to find like-minded persons and multiplayer team-ups. Go check them out.
Come on, Bullet. Let's check him out.
Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If I somehow found a way to piss you off with this review, then hey, you know the spiel. Hit them hate buttons with all the dark magic of the Blair Witch and keep it moving. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.
Where are you, motherfucker? Show yourself! I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands. And after what you've done, I'm gonna enjoy it!